Yes. Expanded humanity to become a multi-planet, then interstellar species to see what's out there. Perfectly said. I totally endorse that. And that's God's plan. They're cutting our energy off. They're attacking our fertility. They've lowered our sperm counts 90%. They're saying they're going to ban our cars and our cows, and they're doing it. They're bringing out their world government in all of its different phases. And then I've got all their incredible gaslighting that's taking place. You got Biden's had 4 shots saying, oh, well, I got this new drug that's protecting me. And he goes on and says, COVID's here for good. But he promised you over and over and over again, if you just took the shot, you'd be protected. Here, let's go ahead and roll this clip of Biden today saying COVID's with us forever. And then you've got Birx saying, oh, we always knew it wouldn't work, but they didn't tell Trump that. Here it is.
Let's keep investing in these tools, vaccinations, treatments, tests, and more so we can help making them available to Americans, the American people, on a permanent basis. Let's get moving. When I say permanent basis, as long as they are needed.
I want to get your take on a lot of people looking at the president now having this, and all these people who've been fully vaccinated and boosted and all of that, and they're getting it. The 20% or so of Americans who've not been vaccinated might look at that doctor and say, well, why bother? Why bother? What do you tell them?
Well, if you're across the South and you're in the middle of this wave, what's going to save you right now is Paxlovid. But once we get through this wave, during that lull, you should get vaccinated and boosted because we do believe it will protect you, particularly if you're over 70. I knew these vaccines were not going to protect against infection, and I think we overplayed the vaccines, and it made people then worry that it's not going to protect against severe disease and hospitalization. It will, but let's be very clear. 50% of the people who died from the Omicron surge were older, vaccinated.
So that's total doublespeak. It will protect you, but it won't. But we will save you. We've got something new for you. They rope you in, they destroy your immune system, and they say, but don't worry, we got a new drug for you. Think about the criminal level of that. Now, I want to move in now to inflation. Let's move into inflation. We have the Biden administration saying there is no inflation, and they've got their press secretary saying there's no inflation. But then when you look deeper into it, all there is inflation. All there is recession. In fact, this particular clip we've got is recession. We're beyond recession. We're in a totally mismanaged by design inflationary system that destroys small businesses and builds up the big central businesses. And we've got clip 9 of her saying that there is no consensus that a recession is the definition. Then we'll play the definition of recession after that. Here it is.
If things are going so great, though, then why is it the White House officials are trying to redefine recession?
No, we're not redefining recession.
If we all understand a recession to be 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth in a row, and then you have White House officials come up here to say, no, that's not what a recession is. It's something else. How is that not redefining recession?
Because that's not the definition. That is not the definition.
Brian Deese said in 2008, of course, economists have a technical definition, which is of a recession, which is 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth.
I can tell you this.
Yesterday he said 2 negative quarters of GDP growth is not the technical definition of a recession.
It is not. It is not.
Why did he say that
it is not? I can speak to what he said yesterday in front of all of you, which is the last thing that you just repeated. There are many factors. Economic factors and indicators to consider, and I will say that the textbook definition of recession is not 2 negative quarters of GDP.
From the Dictionary of Finance and Investment Terms, recession.
And it is exactly what we just said. A downturn in economic activity defined by many economies as at least 2 consecutive quarters of decline in a country's gross domestic product. It'd be like if they said to her, hey, you're wearing a red suit. She said, no, I'm wearing a black suit, or I'm wearing a green suit. We're like, no, you're wearing a red suit. She goes, you're colorblind. It'd be like if I said, I'm wearing a red sports jacket. Everybody watching goes, you're wearing a navy blue sports jacket with light blue shirt. You've got a salt and pepper beard and brown hair and blue eyes. I'm like, nope, I'm green and I've got a red beard. But again, they're just gaslighting you and training you to accept this fraud. All right, Robert Barnes is coming up. I'll be co-hosting with him. Huge amounts of news, a bunch of giant topics next hour. But let me hit this right now. Look at this. Number 1 on the Amazon charts in history and over 15 other categories. Number 40-something in books in the world. I don't want to sit there and have the book sold on Amazon, but that's the number 1 chart in the world. If it goes to even the top 10, it'll make the book be 10 times bigger, and it gives the whole enemy blueprint. So go to InfoWarsStore.com. You can buy the book, buy it signed as well. It comes out in August. Or you can go to Amazon and order The Great Reset and The War for the World, Alex Jones. It is the whole blueprint of the enemy operation, InfoWarsStore.com. Separately, our number 1 bestseller is back in stock. Vitamin Mineral Fusion, incredible for your body, your immune system, everything. Adults, children, everybody needs it. All the essential vitamins, all the essential minerals, the highest quality, so it's not synthetic, and amino acids help it upload better. It's back in stock, a limited supply, InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. We have Body's Ultimate Turmeric Formula, the strongest out there, 95% curcuminoid, concentrated turmeric for your not just immune system, not just your overall health, but inflammation. It just annihilates it. This is the best turmeric you're going to find out there. It's discounted, InfoWarsStore.com. And our latest product, I'm still overweight, but I haven't weighed a few weeks, 39 pounds last time I weighed from the high I was at. We got samples in about 3-4 months ago, been taking Diet Force for 3 months before it came in. Key enzymes, key concentrates that are natural, key herbs, extracts known to speed up your overall metabolic rate. And as we get older, we all know that our metabolism's slow. This boosts it up naturally. Diet Force, 40% off, InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. And thanks for keeping us on the air. I want to thank all the viewers and listeners. You know who you are. The people that have been donating as well. Thank you. You're the reason we're still on air. You literally are InfoWars. We'll be right back.
All right, hopefully I'm coming in loud and clear. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Those of you that are actually on the broadcast, we was in a class earlier. Powers that be did what they did. But, they'd be like, be quiet. Don't say that. And I'll be quiet. But when they leave, I'm talking again. So just give me a thumbs up, shout out. Let me know that you can hear me. Let me know that I'm coming in loud and clear, because I don't want you to miss what we're putting down. Let me know that I'm coming in loud and clear for those of you that are in my Bitrix space. If you are on this particular link, hopefully you will you'll let me know what's up and what's happening. Because like I said, one monkey will never stop one show. Don't stop this show, rather. And, hey, chance goes to the prepared mind. So without further ado, we finna see what we need to see so we can do what we came here to do. But before I jump into this, let me just make sure that all of my levels and everything is right, because I just got to change up slightly how I'm going to bring this stuff to you, because again, important information, information this important, they don't like for you to really get your hands on it. But you know what I'm saying. Hey, this is chance goes to the prepared mind. So hey, I got another hour, and I intend on giving this hour to you one way or the other. And let's see here where we at. With that being said, you know, this is how we'll rock. If you're able to definitely get in where you fit in and catch it, great. If not, you'll be able to come back to this at a later time. So much to do. In order for you to know where you're going, you got to really know where you came from. You got to understand that these things that are actually in motion, they're in motion with an intent. You see here the law of nations that we was going over earlier. Just share with you a couple of things as I scroll through this document here, which I will make available for all my notaries who will be definitely conducting notary presentments on behalf of the clients. We just covered the Trading with the Enemy Act. And so I'm going to now get into the Department of Treasury here. Says here in this particular note, you got to understand this these notices. And this is a document that deals with the actual Department of Treasury. We start out with the Department of Treasury Internal Revenue Service Organization and Functions. This material supersedes the statements and organizations and the functions published in 37 Statute 20961 through 20990, 38 Federal Registry 23341 and also 23342, also 38 Federal Register 311 and 312, dated on March 25th, 1974, by Donald C. Alexander, the Commissioner of the Internal Revenue. Organizations and Staffing, Organization and Functions of the Internal Revenue, Section 1111, establishing the Internal Revenue. Now we come to the mission. The mission of the service is to encourage and achieve the highest possible degree of voluntary compliance. This right here literally just says it all. They're there to get you into voluntary compliance. In other words, you know, we want to get you to volunteer for this tax. The mission and service is to encourage and achieve the highest possible degree of voluntary compliance with the tax laws and regulations to maintain the highest degree of public confidence in the integrity and efficiency of the service. This includes the communications that requirements of the law to the public, determining the extent of compliance of and the causes of non-compliance, and doing all things needful to proper enforcement of the law. Got to pay attention, because if you listen long enough, you definitely will learn something. You will learn something. So now let's go into the reign of error. While the next 5 to 10 years we will have totally redesigned tax administration systems, paper tax returns can largely be a thing of the past. And that was back in 1984 in the annual report. On March 14th, 1996, the Treasury Department, of which the IRS is part, conceded to Congress that after spending well over $4 billion over the next 5 years, the IRS most recent efforts to upgrade its computer systems was badly off track. 4 months later, in June 1996, the House Appropriations Subcommittee approved deep spending cuts at the IRS, calling for heavy layoffs of 2,000 employees assigned to what the Washington Post charitably called the IRS's Troubled Computer Monetization Program. Representative Jim Lightfoot, Republican of Iowa, expressed the frustrations of millions of taxpayers, even a few employed by the IRS, when he blasted the IRS senior management for badly bungling its highly touted computer monetization. The bottom line is that I'm fed up with excuses. Congressman Lightfoot thundered indignantly, if you can't get it right in 8 years, you might as well forget about it. In his capacity as chairman of the House of Treasury, Postal Service, and General Government Subcommittee, So you got to understand he's a little upset. Lightfoot had every reason to be upset among the handful of elected officials he asserts oversight of the otherwise all-powerful IRS. This power gives Congressman Lightfoot a substantial degree of influence over the fate of the agency that seems to have drastically lost its way. By 1996, IRS critics were finally realizing that the systematic malices affecting the computer monetization program sympathized a larger affliction. Under Lightfoot's proposed bill, Congress would slash funding for the IRS by a staggering 11%, including a resounding reduction of $270 million targeted specifically at mismanaged computerized monetization project. This represented a cut of nearly half of the $700 million appropriated for the 1996 fiscal year. The sheer size and broad scope of that cut aimed not merely at the faltering computerization efforts, but at the agency as a whole, appeared to shock agent officials. The Washington Post reported, in an ultimate slap in the face to senior IRS management, Lightfoot's bill called for putting the Defense Department in charge of writing contracts for all future IRS computer monetization efforts. The message was clear. You screwed up, guys, big time. We can't even trust you to buy your own computers. The computer monetization product found few defenders yesterday. The Washington Post concluded, critics say the project has been poorly managed and does not link the new technology to the latest tax collections task. Sounding perhaps like an information technology specialist in business, one IRS computer expert who preferred to remain anonymous put it to me this way: we lost sight of our mission. We thought we were supposed to be on the leading edge of technology, but we have no business being in the leading edge. We have no money for that. We need to be able to be flexible enough to adapt to new discoveries, not to discover new ways of doing business. Rather than maintaining itself on the leading edge of technology, Don Curtis claims the IRS hemorrhaged along on the bleeding edge of technology. The IRS spent the better part of the 80s convincing itself in Congress that it could march proudly into the 21st century using innovative and emerging technology. And to process the millions of tax returns in the recent earlier years, but amid all the heady hubbub and buzzwords like image recognition and network linkage, the IRS forgot, as it has been lamentable tendency to do, and not unlike large corporate bureaucracies that its basic mission is to collect money from taxpayers. It failed to ask taxpayers, arguably its customers, what they were ready or willing to accept in new ways of getting their money to the IRS. It failed to consider the uncertainties that go along with developing new technologies. It ignored its own history. In particular, it ignored recent history. It ignored the lessons of the Nixon years. It ignored the nearly fatal filing system from hell. Remembrance of things past. Tax return backlog grows in the wake of computer woes taking tales of the IRS. Beware the IRS computer, not even a Boy Scout is safe. And that was written by the Philadelphia Inquirer. On April 26, 1985, a janitor cleaning up the remains of an unusually chaotic and frantic tax day in Philadelphia found envelopes containing unprocessed tax returns, many with undeposited checks still attached, in a trash barrel in a loading dock of the IRS sprawling Philadelphia Service Center. After he turned this embarrassing find over to his supervisor, a desperate weekend-long search ensured of all trash barrels at the center. The search turned up, much to the center management's horror, 109 envelopes still containing unprocessed tax information, all of which nearly ended up as Philly's landfill. Out of those recovered 109 envelopes, 94 contained checks made out to the federal government totaling $330,440. 36 contained unprocessed 1040s. 24 contained estimated tax payments. On April 30th, just 4 days after the discovery, the first cliche of the buried treasure, an IRS internal audit pulled up a random 3 brown envelopes from yet another trash can inside the corner. One of the 3 contained a check made out to the IRS for $2,500. The General Accounting Office, the GAO, the General Accounting Office, GAO, would later report the IRS officials found between 50 and 100 unprocessed tax returns stuffed in a wastebasket in a woman's restroom in Philadelphia Service Center. I'm laughing because of what recently happened last month when the IRS basically destroyed over 30 million tax returns. This was done in 19 what? Because I want you to, I'm trying to get you to see something. I'm trying to get you to see something. This was in 1985. And it's 2022. And the IRS is still up to the same old shenanigans. Keep listening, because if you listen long enough, you'll learn something.
He did this, and they said he totally violated state law. They said it's over on appeal, but who knows?
Yeah. What she said about defamation law was a lie. It was just a flat-out lie. Libel law in Texas is very clear. You can use an apology as a right to mitigate damages. By the way, this is common law throughout the country. Why? Because we want to encourage and incentivize people to give apologies,
plus
corrections.
It gets even worse. They never sent a retraction.
Correct. They never requested a retraction, never requested a correction. They never did so until the very eve of suit. And here she's denying the jury hearing all the facts. So they want the plaintiff's lawyers made up, fictional, fabricated version of events to be the only set of events they hear. It's basically completely gagging the defense. You can hear the plaintiff's side, you can't hear the defense.
And it gets worse. I don't even really chew gum. I might have a stick of gum once a month. I should do it more. It's good for your teeth. If it's a low sugar one or whatever. I'm just sitting there this morning, totally not even paying attention. She goes, "Are you chewing gum? Are you chewing gum?" Just to get that in the news.
Right. That's insane. This is a liberal authoritarian judge who has no business being on the court. She lied to get elected. She told people she would treat everybody fairly, give everybody a full hearing in her courtroom. She lied. She lied to get elected. It's not a big surprise, but you see her authoritarian tendencies in the courtroom. Judges with her temperament are precisely the kind of people who should never be judges in America, and people are getting to witness it in live time. But she's so scared of what people will witness that she's exclusively monopolizing who can publish and broadcast it.
Well, that's right. They couldn't give me a trial, so they said I was guilty. Now they're trying to rig the damages portion.
Absolutely, and she doesn't want the world to see what she's up to. So you're not allowed to.
She keeps saying to the jury, "This is a very special case. He's guilty." The jury, we learned, we have the videos in the jury voir dire. Most of the people are asking, "Well, I thought I get to choose if he's guilty."
Exactly, because that's America. Right to trial by jury, established back in the Magna Carta. That was the whole point and principle. That's an 8th-century-old principle in American and Anglo-Saxon
And we
law.
know the Democrats have been pushing to get rid of jury trials. That's been a big push of the American Bar Association. And now this is it. Alex Jones is the test case. If you can take a jury trial from Alex Jones, everybody else follows.
Exactly. Like some people get confused and they say, "Oh, is a default judgment an exception to right to trial by jury?"
He didn't show up. That's not true.
Yeah, it's not true at all. No, in fact, the reason why default judgments are generally not allowed in America is because of the right to trial by jury, not by judge. And this judge is someone who, if she had confidence in what she was doing, she'd let anybody clip or rebroadcast her the court proceedings. She's not.
Well, that's it. She said, I may just end the live broadcast.
That no one surprised me at all, because she's terrified at the fact that we
talked on the phone last night for 10 minutes. You predicted she'd probably cut the feed. She said she made it today.
Oh, absolutely, because she was already deleting videos. Like, I had lawyers who wanted to follow the case. Viva Fry was wanting to figure out where it was, and all of a sudden the videos of the trial were disappearing.
And I'm going to leave, and you're going to take over now. Well, we'll do one more segment, but I don't want to just harp on me all day. We got a lot of other news to cover. But you predicted it in our little. I looked at my phone when I hung up. It was like an 11-minute conversation. I'm like, wow. Barnes says she'll probably cut the feed. She said, I may just cut the feed. Imagine she wants one feed so she can say what she wants, but then doesn't want it because she doesn't want people looking at what she's done.
Exactly. She doesn't want, there's a public right to access the trials. In the old days, our trials were publicly held proceedings. She doesn't want the public to see what she's up to because it's such a travesty and tragedy of justice.
But she did it first. Now she's going, whoa, what did I do? We're going to come in from break and play a clip of last night when the trial was ending for the night, where my lawyer, Andino, right now, and the other lawyer got in a little bit of a fracas. We'll tell you why it happened after we play the clip on the other